Welcome to Highly Reviewed, the podcast where we review movies.
That's right.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
And today we are reviewing. What was it called?
Something about chaos.
Yeah. Okay.
Chaos reigns.
Chaos reigns. A little chaos.
A little chaos. Okay.
I thought maybe it was a
just
touch of chaos.
Maybe it was just a drizzle.
Okay, a little chaos. And I'm Richard, and this is
Gardenista.
Gardenista.
I'm just gonna go with the Gardenista.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I'll try to remember not to use your name while we're doing this.
You can call me Madam.
Okay. Yes. Call me Madam again. Okay. So we watched A Little Chaos. And, okay, what we need you to do is...
Imagine a beautiful sweeping vista for miles and miles, as far as the eye can see.
Yes.
Filled with tropicals and lush evergreens and so many flowers. Like, it's just an absolute feast for the senses. If you could smell it, you'd be there. It's just amazing. Epic, incredible, pristine scenery.
Did we see that?
I really thought that you were going to catch the ball there and that you're going to say, like, which is exactly what we didn't get from this movie.
Okay, we didn't.
Yeah.
Because I remember us talking about...
I was setting you up for like a big switch.
I couldn't remember if that was something that we actually had talked about or something that I had imagined we talked about. Like, we actually did talk about that. Okay.
No, we didn't.
We didn't.
Not before. I forgot what we talked about now.
Right. Okay.
Wait, no. I just forgot what we were talking about.
You were talking about big sweeping shots.
Oh, yeah. I was setting you up for the big, like, fake out where I was like, epic shots and da-da-da. And then you would say, that's exactly what this movie wasn't.
Right. Okay. But no, my point is, like, I remember talking about that, but were we talking about it because the movie lacked it or because it did have it?
Oh, I could. Like, you know what?
Do you remember?
Alter your reality right now.
No, it is in. Well, I'm living the multiverse right now, so it could be. We could go anywhere.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, it was that, like, all those green rolling hills and the trees and.
Wait, no. Wait, no. This movie was garbage.
No, garbage is a bit much.
It was. Like, okay, let's break it down. This movie is about a gardener.
Like an old day.
Many gardeners. Like, everyone is a gardener. Not like in the spiritual sense, like we're all tending our garden.
Like
no,
Voltaire.
Literally, people are like fucking, right, like Voltaire.
Yeah.
No. No, literally everyone in this movie is like, I just can't fucking wait to stick my hands in some deep, black, dirty dirt.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, like, everyone in this movie, that's their kink. They're all gardeners.
That's my perfect world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody would just be so into gardening.
It's like the most important thing.
You know what, though? It kind of is. Besides having fresh air to breathe, clean air to breathe, and, you know, potable water.
Right.
I mean, right after that, like, you can live the rest of your life and not have sex. You're not going to die. Unless you're my husband.
Right?
And that's seriously the threat, you know, right?
Okay.
Right.
But, yeah. So not sex, but you do need air and water.
And then you need food. You need to eat.
Right, you gotta eat that food.
I mean, when you think about, like, it was an absolute new civilization, literally, when agriculture came around.
Right.
You know? Gardening was life.
Right. Right. We could be well extinct now without agriculture.
Right.
So.
Well, I don't know. How long did humans exist before agriculture? I kind of felt
Long
like they
time.
were doing okay.
Like, we keep finding out it's longer and longer than we thought. We're like, oh, we thought it was like 10,000 years. No, it's like 20,000 years. Mm-hmm. You know, so. Okay. I hear you. Anyways, so in 2 or 3 sentences, Madame, can you describe what this movie was about? I mean, I think our listeners have gained that it's about gardening, but
It's not though. That's
okay.
not what it's
So, but
about.
no. But before we dig
Gardening is
into
the
it,
mask.
yes, right. Before we get into it, we just need like 4 sentences. What was this movie about?
I'm
Literally.
gonna give it to you in one word. That's all I need.
Okay. All right.
Growth.
Growth. Okay. But see, but many movies are about growth. Like, you could say, um, A Field of Dreams is a movie about growth.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I hear you.
Right. But literally they're talking about growing things in this movie. So, I mean, we need more than just that. Like what was this movie not about in the big sense? Literally, what was the plot of this movie?
I was gonna say.
What is
so
the plot?
What I hear you saying is you're actually asking a different question.
Yes. No,
Okay.
but I liked your answer
Right.
to the wrong question.
Right. Okay.
That's what I was
Right.
saying. All
I
right.
like that you made sure I had the right answer
Right.
to your wrong question.
Right.
That's the
Right.
effort.
I was acknowledging
Okay.
it.
Yes. Good job.
Okay.
Okay. So this is what the movie was about. Synopsis.
Right.
You have King Louis, and he wants to build the Garden of Versailles. He wants to have heaven on earth, and it has got to be better and more perfect than anything that has ever been done before.
Right.
And so the guy who's in charge of building that garden is looking for designers and people to work underneath him, pun intended. And he happens to interview this really unique, free-spirited character who adds whimsy and magic to his strict, gardening order theory. And then, of course, it's like the yin and the yang. It's a perfect balance for each other.
They bone.
Then they bone. Yes. That sounds like a song. They bone.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a commercial. Dim
That
bones,
is,
dim bones,
I'll tell you what.
dim bones.
It's the only song there is to buy a.
Can you
In the
imagine if it was?
archetypal sense.
Oh,
Let's
that
bone.
was- I see.
Like, come
Okay,
on, they
okay.
bone. Like,
Right?
that's anyone ever sings about. Every song is about sex.
That's true. Yeah. From Let's Get It On to Come On Girl, make it in rock.
Well, both of those songs sing
Right?
literally
Same.
about sex.
Well, that's same about Dim Bone.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, that's what the movie was about.
Dim Bones.
They did it, yeah. And, okay. So let's get into it.
Okay. Let's dig it.
Right. So, what's the first part of this movie you remember when we watched? Like, when we think of, like, going back in time thinking...
The first part of the movie I remember, really sticking out to me was she was in her backyard and there was a pot and she had a bad dream and she ran out there and she was digging shells out of, like, the potting soil.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And, says she is Kate Winslet.
Uh-huh.
Right, okay.
Oh, me, you're referring to me. I'm like,
No, you're not Kate Winslet.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not
Right.
Kate Winslet. Although I was for a minute.
You were.
Remember that?
Yeah,
Oh
the
my
face
gosh,
is
there's a scene
transformed.
where she's laying on the side, and it does not look like Kate Winslet anymore. And the more I look at it, it starts to look like my sister. And then all of a sudden, I am like staring at my own face. It was so crazy.
Yeah, and I hear what you're saying. You're saying, I think I'm Kate Winslet. That's what you're saying.
I do think you're Kate Winslet.
Yeah, were you in Titanic?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kate Winslet, and the first thing I remember is not Kate Winslet, but the other guy, the guy she will eventually bone, the gardener, and I remember him standing and looking out the window at her, and she moved the pot.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
She moved the pot because he had like arranged these pots in a particular circle, and she just like moved one a little bit to be like chaos.
Right, there's my chaos. It's like graffiti. That is a gardener's graffiti.
Right.
Yeah.
She just was like, perfect balance is too stupid.
Order. Yeah, there's
Right.
no such thing as
We gotta
order.
we gotta add a touch of chaos,
Right.
and that's what the movie's called, is a little chaos. And I thought that there would be like more like beat me over the head hammer with like life needs a little chaos. But they didn't really do that. Like, if that lesson is in there,
But there
it
was the black
unintentional.
glove. I mean, there was no hitting over the head with a hammer, but there was a
Right.
black glove.
No, but the black glove was like a good sign.
That is like a pristine British person's version of hitting somebody over the head with a hammer. They're like, here's your glove in a
Right.
silk box.
Right. Right. It's very Shakespearean. And they establish, so what we're talking about is that like the guy, he's married, and his wife is like, fuck this gardener bitch. She's awful. But then it turns out that she had cheated on him and that he found out, so he's like, fuck you. Anyways,
They have an arrangement.
this wife goes to the gardener and is like, I fucking know that you love my husband or whatever. And she like drops a glove on the ground. And then the husband picks up the glove and is like, what is the, like, he's just like, I know you know that you said you know.
No.
No.
And there's another homonym. No.
No.
No and no.
No, yes, true.
No. Yes. No.
No.
I forgot what you asked me. What was it about the gardener girl? Or why did she go there?
What did the wife say?
Oh, she did. It's not what she said. It was when she left, and that night when the gardener girl went home from her project, the wife sent hoodlums out, and they opened the duct
Right.
and broke pipes and like broke down all those like stairs that she was
Right.
building.
And you were like, that's the fakest scene in the movie. Because like, right? You said like that's the fakest, like when the guy was like standing next to her and was like kissing her neck and was like, we could destroy this whole thing. You were like, this is the fakest scene in the movie.
No, what I said was, and this is the cover of the book. Like it
Oh,
totally
yes.
looked
Yeah.
like a super cheesy romance novel.
Right.
Like
Right.
exactly.
But she would have
Fabio.
to be holding a rose as
or
that
I
happens.
like a rope, but that's
Yeah.
the pirate version. A
Yeah,
rose.
a
yes.
rose.
Yeah.
This one would be a rose.
Yeah, for sure.
A touch of chaos. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. This is a romance novel. That's what it is.
Okay.
They just fucking stole a romance novel off a shelf and just were like, one day in Versailles.
Versailles.
You know? Like,
That's that.
it was,
But then
that
they
was the
shuffled
writing
up
quality
with a
of this
deck
movie.
Of like epic period drama sadness. Like
No, but that's what those that's what those books are like. They just like swing all over the place. Oh, also, you don't even know. She had a dead daughter. You know? Right, like that's
okay.
how it
Oh,
works.
guess
Like,
what?
oh
Yeah.
yeah, you need and then
you
another
didn't
time,
know?
like his
But then
wife
it's her
cheated on
fault.
her. Yeah, you know, and then and then how about I know the queen will die.
Right. Oh, and his wife is having multiple affairs with like men half her age.
Yeah.
Openly.
So that's how those books are written, and that is exactly what this movie was like.
Yeah, justifying doing the naughty things. It's okay to do the naughty things because that other person's even badder.
Yeah, and we need to have a scene where like a bunch of old court women are like, it's okay that
yeah,
your daughter
that was-
died.
Oh my, that was
It's
intense.
okay that you might not know how to feel. Like,
because
we need that scene.
right, yeah, that was like that was a scene.
Every
for another
good movie has one of those scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna bond over the tragic deaths
Right.
we've all experienced.
Right.
In like a 2-minute scene
Yeah.
in a gardening movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. I need a gardening movie.
Yeah, a gardening movie.
This wasn't like Forrest Gump here, you
And
know?
it would be different if it was a gardening movie like about the gardens that they, created over cemetery plots or dead people.
Right, if there was some kind of like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost as if, and what if it took place in like the 90s instead?
Mm-hmm.
And instead of being, a period piece about gardening, So basically, like, what if this movie was like just a different movie? Like instead of being in Versailles and about gardening, like
What if no?
what if it was just
What if
like some
not?
angsty teenagers reading poems over graves in 1990? Like, oh yeah, that's a bit of a rewrite. Okay.
Did you ever do that? I never did that.
Do what?
Cried over poems that I read over graves.
No, well,
I never did that. So now I want to
never
know.
technically
Yeah,
did it.
technically.
Like I feel like the angst inside of me was doing that though. Like
That was your internal dialogue. That was your
yeah,
story.
like inside, like, you know, I might be just like sitting in math class or fucking like talking to my brother after school, but inside
You were like
I'm
lighting
like
that
over a
poetry
grave,
on fire.
being
Yeah.
like burning lost love letters of my dead wife, you know, or something, you know.
Yeah, because
That's-
teenagers have dead wives.
well, but like
Yeah.
inside I do.
Oh yeah, that's
Like,
inside dialogue.
I loved
forgot.
her a lot.
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah, she was like my
we did
soulmate.
for like 6 months.
Right.
Online. We never met in person.
Yeah, that's right.
But
Right.
we're soulmates.
She was my soulmate, and then she died tragically. That's how I feel.
The end.
That's how I feel.
Scene.
Yeah.
You know what they say in the Philippines?
What do they say in the Philippines?
When there's a moment of silence like that,
Uh-huh.
it's because angels are flying over.
Oh, something was flying over. But it was like my ability to think.
Right? It was like my jokes to you over
Right.
your head.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So what else? Okay, let's talk about the Alan Rickman part of this movie.
I thought you said algorithm.
Well, it
Kinda
could
the
be
same.
kind of the
It's-
same. He's
it's one
like
of
he's
those
got an
synonyms
algorithm.
again.
Yes.
Alan Rickman.
Right, and the way he acts is kind of like an algorithm. He's like, first I'll say, and then I'll be like,
He's like, you know what? I got my start doing diarrhea commercials.
I bet he
So
did.
now it's like,
Yeah.
that's my signature face.
All right. So the Alan Rickman experience. He was like King Louis, the 1930. No, not 19th. Because I think 16 they whacked him. I don't know. So we'll say 14 just to be
Gross.
safe. Yeah, you know, chop. Anyways, he's King Louis, and he's like, I need like to be Alan Rickman. Right? That's what I need in my life. The character.
Oh, I
you
know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to act myself.
Right, yeah, right. So I hit him with a good
And then
I'm
I
Alan
said,
Rickman, Harry Potter. Okay. Yeah, so he was Alan Rickman, and like, I mean, he's like, this place must be heaven on earth. It's got to be the best garden ever, because he's way into gardening. Few
Alan
people
was-
know that.
Alan was the stick in the mud gang.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was just he was kind of, but you know, he was a little cheeky too. He had a little cheeky side to him.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretending to be the other gardener. He was
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that time?
Right. And I couldn't tell if he
It
was like,
was a total
I couldn't tell
Aladdin moment.
if he was like playing it as a joke or whether he was having some kind of psychic break where he was like, I need to be another person because I'm in such pain right now.
Yeah, and I don't see that as a psychotic break. I see it as, oh my God, what a relief to escape my world of sadness.
Because the queen
And
died,
then
yeah.
I can just be a gardener. I don't have to be the king. I don't have the weight of the country, my family, my kids on my shoulders.
Right.
I just like to fondle these pears.
Yes. You know, I'm
Which
surprised.
was another layer of the movie.
Right. And you know what? There's so many layers to this movie that when you said like fondle pears, I was like, you know, I'm surprised there wasn't any like allegations of like child brutality, you know?
Child brutality.
Yeah, yeah. like, like some fondling of pears.
Oh, just because it
just
had to
because
have
like it had
everything.
fucking everything else in
Everything
this
else,
movie.
right.
They're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what about the
epic carriage wreck
pedophilia?
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I thought maybe for a while that's where it was going when when the dad is like
Oh,
playing
yeah,
with
I'm
the
gonna
doll
take-
and like I
yeah.
was like, man, what's going on? Why is the dad playing with the doll?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like something that they would do in the 19th century.
But in the 90s,
Oh yeah. Everyone has
you
their
might
own little
hold the
power
doll
doll. Yeah.
while you were crying over a grave, reading your poetry.
Which is on fire.
Which is
poetry
on fire
is on
from
fire.
your tears.
Yes.
Because
Yes, from my
you're
tears.
so sad you're crying tears of
Yeah,
fire.
and then tears of fire, dude. Now that is a '90s like album title, right? No, it's more
Tears
like
of
an
Fire.
'80s. It's like
Tears for Fears. You're thinking of Tears for Fears.
Well, Tears for, but it's like Tears of Fire.
Yeah,
It's like,
Tears of Fire. That was
like
way
a
more badass.
guy,
That's
like,
what they should have
at
gone
a grave
with.
crying and like
Yeah.
it fall down in water, but then it go up in flames.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Be a great album.
It's not too late.
I think it is. I think that I had this all during college. Like I'm in college and my younger cousins are like way into boy bands.
Mm-hmm.
Like
So they're okay.
like fucking Hanson. No, these are my girl cousins.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, "Oh, we love Hanson and all these boy bands, boy bands." And I was like, you think that like a college boy would see this and be like, ugh, fangirls. But I was like, there could be something here.
You're like, I'm
Maybe
into this boy band.
Maybe I should be in a boy band.
There you go.
Like this seems awesome. And
Oh, like a good gig.
yeah, like
Okay.
well, you got a lot. You're really famous, and people are like, oh, it's not real music. Fuck you, asshole. Like
Right.
I'm up there performing. Mm-hmm. I could be in a boy band. So I was like trying to convince my friends who were some of them musically inclined, some of them not so much, but good looking, and be like, you know what? And that's every boy band, right?
Milli Vanilli will just do it.
You got like the really good looking, talented lead singer guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like the really good backup, really like musically powerful, strong backup guy to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like in the back, the guy who's known for his dancing. He's really good looking, but he can't sing. Every time they hand him in every song, he gets like two bars. Yeah, just
right.
like oh yeah, you're like, oh, what was that?
Right.
What's that guy?
Or
That's
like
every
from
boy
the
band.
Ferris Bueller's movie. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but like, well, that guy cannot sing. Why is he in the band? Like, well, he's really good looking.
Nobody asked that question. They're just like, hey, look at that really good looking guy. He's in the band.
Right, exactly. See, he must be good at music.
Yeah.
Because he's in the band.
Yeah.
As if like everyone in the band is like really intensely thinking about the quality of music they're
I
putting
think that's
out.
what guys that are in band think.
Uh-huh.
Not in band, in bands.
Right.
So like, yeah, they're like, I'm in a band, and they think that
Yeah.
all women's like clothing is going to spontaneously combust off their body.
Right.
Oh, you're
Well,
in a
I'm gonna
band?
get up there. I'm gonna sing a
Ooh.
song. It goes like this. We bone. Right.
And then they bone.
Right, and then we bone. Like that's the primal dream of man. Just be like,
Your word is thy command, or
right, yeah, I'm gonna say the words and
my
then
word
it
is
happens.
your command. That's it. Which is totally different than thy word is my command.
That's too many words in that sentence for me to understand right now. So thy word is thy command.
It's a verbal homonym.
Oh, okay. So, what else about this movie? Oh, wait, one last thing about Alan Rickman. Turns out he directed the movie too. So that made a lot of sense in the end for some reason.
The reason was that the movie was Alan Rickman.
The movie was Alan Rickman. Yes, that's exactly right. It's just like it
And
was
they're like, I wish I would have known this because now I understand.
right.
The whole movie is.
Right. That's how the movie went. It just was like, you're right. And okay, here's something that like I think really captures the craziness of this movie. So this movie is about gardening. Everyone is a gardener, gardening.
Mm-hmm.
And they're working really hard on this gardening project that seems to be like really important in the world of gardening. And that's like the whole movie. They're working on this project, working on this garden. And then in the end, the shot they show, it's like a stone floor with all stone fountains in the background.
Yes.
And there's not a single plant anywhere. It's, and you're like, wait, I thought this was a movie about gardening.
Right.
Why did they build a Camaro?
Yeah,
right?
right,
Like, why is it a drag race at the end of this movie?
Right.
Like what?
How does that make any sense?
Right. It's just like really. That's what this movie was. It's just like it seems like it knows what it's doing, but it does not. it doesn't. It doesn't know what it's doing.
It doesn't know what you don't know what you're doing.
Right. Okay.
If you had to diagnose this movie, what would its diagnosis be?
Schizophrenia.
I figured.
Because
you would say
the mom kept seeing visual hallucinations of her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I guess because it's linked to a trauma, it couldn't really be actual schizophrenia.
Or it could have been taking artistic license and she was just remembering,
right.
And they were showing us what
yeah.
she was remembering.
Well, right.
It's
But here's the thing. In this movie, we just cannot tell the difference. It's like, it could be both. Like, you know what I'm also surprised with?
Movie. Like,
how was it at no point in this movie was there like an old gypsy telling someone's fortune? Like, why didn't they should have added that. Everything else was in this movie.
Right. Truth. It was probably because they were off with the monkey with the brass clangs. Like.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And, there was what else? It was something else about the movie. Oh my God. She's under the blanket. It's so funny. Okay. I can't remember. There was some other really important thing we were talking about in the movie. Oh, all right. The accents. Tell us about the accents.
Okay. At first, I was like, Richard, stop fucking up this movie. Because they're talking about building, this epic garden, Versailles. And yet every single person that's talked has a serious British accent from different places like Cockney and Manchester, like all these different places, but they are all absolutely British accents.
Yes.
And I'm
undeniable.
Like, if you just fucking shattered this movie for me, I'm gonna be so irritated. And then I can't get it out of my head. So I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, they are in Great Britain. He's interviewing gardeners in Great Britain, and you're like, okay, maybe that's a possibility.
Right. Because basically, the movie is shot in California. So.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
It could have been shot in anyone's backyard, really.
Well, yeah.
Because, like you said, they just took a snapshot of that and rolled it out.
Yeah.
For the background.
So, like, it was hard because their set could easily have been France as it could have been England.
Right.
I was like,
okay,
maybe they are. But then, like, there was a scene not so long in the future where she goes to Versailles, and then she's back home.
Right.
And the guy is like, I'm coming over at night. I'm like, okay, so obviously these two places are the same. They are not in England. So every single French person in this movie has a thick-ass Kate Winslet or Alan Rickman English accent.
Alan Rickman did have an Alan Rickman accent.
It was
He's
thick
the
old
King of France, and he didn't sound French.
No, his name was Louis.
He didn't even try.
No, not even try. No.
Did he put a French accent on that one? Lemure.
Okay. So, yes, Alan Rickman. And that's, I think that's it, right? We talked about all the things.
Uh-huh.
So, last, do you recommend this movie.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. I don't. I don't recommend this movie. I feel like you should just go to the unless you're a fan, unless you're a really hardcore fan of action gardening.
Action gardening.
Right.
That's where I was going to go with it.
There were at least
recommend
2
this
action
movie.
gardening scenes.
I do recommend this movie for action gardener movie fans.
Right.
But also, if you want to feel like you're schizophrenic, you want to know what that feels
Right.
like, you could watch this movie.
Yes, this could just be the fever dream of a madman.
That's exactly it.
Okay, yes, for me, I do not recommend this, except if you want that hardcore action gardening. But if you're not, that's not your kink, then no.
And by hardcore
Just go
action
to
gardening, he means water scenes. And what was the other
No,
thing?
it was
Climbing,
like
wall
no,
scaling,
she was
wall
like
scaling.
aggressively weeding. Remember that? She's like,
aggressively
and like they're doing
weeding,
all these like jump cuts and snap takes, like gardening.
Yeah.
Ripping
That
those
was a
weeds
gardening
out.
scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the other one was when she had to like turn off the water. Remember?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like that's not gardening at all.
No,
It
well,
was like,
no, it.
save Timmy from the well.
Damn it. You're ruining it, because now I want to believe when you're gardening that you're out there doing shit like that.
I'm pulling down the safety hatch on the
Like, man, I
water
thought
main.
I thought that you were like
Yeah.
literally life and death shit out there.
Well, yeah.
It turns out it's not like
Well,
that.
we don't have wooden doors anymore.
Oh.
So it's not like that.
Right.
Right. They're big and metal and heavy now.
Right.
So
It's just
like,
way worse
and they're
even.
sharpened like a guillotine.
Right.
On the
Or just
bottom.
chop your head right off.
So there's that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't recommend this movie.
Not a fan of action gardening.
No. Okay.
Okay.
The end.